for one last week I have to prepare for rim to rim to rim. The good news this past week was that I was able to hit the 70 miles of running, which was on my brute force training plan. I was aiming to do 70 miles this past week, 75 miles this upcoming week, and 80 on the following week. So that would be 3 really solid weeks of preparing, of just run mileage and run volume. So this past week I did go to Flagstaff this past weekend, and I got the chance to do 2 somewhat of hard runs. So one was on Saturday, that included Mount Elden. Mount Elden was a little more challenging than I was expecting. So the run itself was only close to 9 miles, but I did have tired legs because I did it on purpose. So I had a really long ride in the morning, so a 5-hour ride, which kind of always takes a toll on your body. So I went to Saturday afternoon to do this 9-mile run up Mount Elden, and it was a lot more challenging than I thought. It took me 2.5 hours to get to the top and down. So I was planning on an hour run that afternoon, so a lot longer than I was expecting. And then on Saturday I did Pix Loop, which is part of the Golden series or Golden Trail series. It's the segment in Flagstaff. It's close to, I'm gonna say, it's 30K. I don't know exactly how many miles that was, but it was actually very challenging because the first section, you go up the ascent to Humphreys Peak, and it's quite steep. It's not very runnable, but it was a good test of strength, and it took me 4 hours to do the entire loop. So it was 4 hours on my feet for 30K. So it was pretty draining, pretty challenging, and it allowed me to test hydration, fueling, and all the things that I'm worried about when it comes to rim to rim to rim. So 70 miles logged this past week. I did also during the week, I did a few speed sessions while I was still in Scottsdale. Scottsdale right now has been enduring 100 days of over 110 Fahrenheit in temperature, so that's quite hot. So even though during the weekdays I'm not doing particularly long runs, I'm enduring really hot conditions and running under extreme conditions, which will all hopefully help me on rim to rim to rim. So this upcoming week, I'm heading out of town again. I'm trying to do 75 miles of running, see how that goes. And if I am able to back up the previous week, which was 70 miles, with another 75 miles this week, they'll put me up with a good CTL for those that want to geek out on Training Peaks. Yeah, so that was the update from this previous week. Everything is looking good. I'm following my plan, and I kind of hope that it will allow me to be prepared for rim to rim to rim. The big news this week was that I did sign in for Ironman Texas, Ironman Florida, and Ironman Arizona. I don't know if any is actually going to happen, but I'm actually looking forward to doing a triathlon eventually. So it kind of got me excited to not only do 70 miles of running this past week, but also do over 300 miles of cycling and keeping the swimming. So somewhat of a renewed motivation to have races on the schedule, even if we don't know if they're gonna happen. So yeah, so I signed in for all those races and see how that goes. I'm hopeful that at least Ironman Florida and Ironman Arizona take place.
Hi Jesus, your golden fleece diapers with your tiny little fat ball.
But after rim to rim to rim, I already have something to look forward to. yeah, that's it. That's the update this week. Catch up next week for another update on and see how did I survive or not 75 miles of running this week. Catch up next week.